What da danyo, danyo, what da dang dang, and go danyo, danyo, oh, what da dang dang. Yes, he's the black pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, it must be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. This he's the black pot, and I want to say thank you so much for coming along, my brother, my sister. Now today we have a number of issues coming from out of the news reel, where we always endeavor to keep it real. Now the very first story I am looking at today is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, and I read: alleged child marriage, finding a virgin above 15 years in Nungua has become difficult. And this is Nungua Manche speaking. Now I read. Now the Nungua Manche, Adalfio Welenchi III has justified the marriage of Bobu Wolomo Numo Borkete Lawe Churu the 33rd to a minor by drawing inspiration from biblical references and emphasizing the traditional requirement that the priest marries a virgin. Now, according to the Nungua Manche, finding virgin girls above the age of 9 years in Nungua has become a challenge, making the exceptional case of Na Ayemuade, who is a minor, significant in fulfilling this customary requirement. My brother, my sister, listen to what Nungua Manche is saying. Nungua Manche, Lenche, is saying that it is difficult to find a virgin 15 years and above in Nungua. For that matter, as long as they've been able to get a 12-year-old or whatever year old, it doesn't matter. By hook or crook, the marriage is authentic. It's a shame. My brother, I respect tradition. I love tradition. What is Nungua Manche doing to be able to keep the girls in the area just? If sex is the order of the day, if the girls are so rotten that by the age of 9, they are already de-virginized, it means that Nungua Manche is doing next to nothing to uphold the moral compass of the girls in the area. This is a king speaking for Nungua. He says, oh, the girls in my house, they are so rotten. Before they reach 9 years, they already know sex. In fact, they break their virginity. As a father of the house, what are you doing to be able to solve this problem? He thinks this is good enough an excuse. What a joke. My brother, my sister, it hurts me that a king, a chief, Nungua Manche. Nungua is a very beautiful place. I love Nungua. I hear they are doing a very good job in Nungua there. The Woloma who just got married is doing a lot for the people of Nungua. It is not an excuse to marry a minor. Now the chief of Nungua Manche himself, listen to the utterances coming out of his mouth. It is difficult to find a virgin in Nungua. By the age of 9, they are all de-virginized. And for that matter, once we have laid hands on this one, she must not go. My brother, I listened to another tape where a member of the Nungua Council threatened the police, told the police, hey, now that you said our queen is in your hands, make sure that nothing happens to her, or else spiritually we shall deal with you. Now, if you know how to spiritually deal with people, I think that you should use the same spirits to deal with the situation, the problem of girls by the age of 9 getting de-virginized in Nungwa. Use the same spirit. How can you sit down and watch little girls before the age of 9, they are already de-virginized? You don't use the same spiritual power to deal with this canker, but you can use that power to deal with the police that is taking your so-called queen away. This is a shame. I don't know what the people of Nungwa are doing and saying. Nobody is above the truth, my brethren. The chief of Nungwa, Nungwa Manche, says that before the girls in the area get to 9 years old, they are all de-virginized. For that matter, once they have laid hands on one girl who is not de-virginized, the girl must go to Wulomo. This is a problem. Teenage pregnancy, diseases. You don't care about the diseases. You don't care about the teenage pregnancies. You don't care about the wanton fornication that has besieged Nungwa. But you care about using juju and spirits on the police that has come to save a little innocent 12-year-old. Now they are saying she's 15 years, getting to 16 in July. Stop this joke, please. Stop this joke. Now the work of the king or the chief is supposed to protect the people. Now if you live in an area where by the age of 9, all the girls already know sex, my brother, even in America, these things are beginning to change. 9 years, you already know sex, you are de-virginized. And therefore, a woman who has been able to keep her daughter away from the streets of sex becomes the victim of Wulomos libido. Please, Nungwa Manche, it is time to go deep and try to work on the moral fiber of the people of Nungwa. It is not too big to be done. It can be done. I leave it here. It is because of some of these reasons we have depot. They will tell the people in the area nobody's supposed to have sex until they've done depot. Until they reach a certain age. You shall be disgraced if you do it. It's because of some of these. If you sit down and fold your arms doing nothing, and then you can come out and tell us that Nungwa girls before they reach 9, they are all de-virginized. What are you doing about it? Next thing I want to look at, and this one just came in. It says, Bolga East residents seek financial assistance from MP to purchase cattle for dowries. Oh my God. And this is from City Newsroom. And I read, now some constituents of the Bolgatanga East constituency of the Upper East region are making personal requests to their member of parliament, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayini, seeking financial assistance to purchase cattle for dowries. While traditionally, constituents often approach their elected representatives with requests for community development projects and social services, a segment of Bolgatanga East constituents have taken a different approach, prioritizing personal needs over the needs of the general populace. My brother, it is so terrible. It's not only happening in the Bolga East area. It is happening all over Ghana. That is why when we elect these people into power, we make them feel like demigods and they lord it over us. Some MPs do not even want to go to their constituencies anymore, because the moment the constituents hear that they are in there, they table down a number of personal issues, worrying them personally, my brother, and go to them. Some of them need bulbs in their homes. Their bulbs have been dead for the past 2 months, and the MP did not come, so they were waiting for him to come to give them bulbs for their rooms. In some areas, they are asking for dowries for new wives. Men who already have 6 wives, They want to marry more. So they want the dowry to come from their elected MPs. What kind of a country do we have like this? My brother, they are not interested in the roads that are going to be built. They are interested in the cocoa that they would drink in the morning and the dowries that they would get to marry more wives. How can the nation grow if you have this kind of mentality? Can I go deeper? Now there's an area in the Upper East region where I am told that the chief was approached by some Chinese people who were doing some kind of mining in the area. And they told the chief, hoping that the chief would jump in joy and be happy, that they were going to build the road right from the junction all the way through the town, down to the end of the town. You know what the chief told them? He said, oh, instead of building that road, build me a palace and let me be in it. A beautiful palace, deserving of a king. My brother, a road that is supposed to be built for the people, to open up the road for business and movement. The chief drives his car on the bumpy roads. He doesn't care. All he wants is a personal palace that he can parade himself in pomp and pageantry. With this mentality, how do we grow? Sometimes I am forced to think that we are still animals. Sometimes I still believe that some of us Ghanaians still have tails hidden in our trousers. We have not grown into full human beings yet. How can a human being put his self-interest first and above the interest of the whole community? This is what the politicians look at, and they do the same thing. What is supposed to be for Ghana, no, they want kickbacks, personal kickbacks, before they sign them. Such people, they need to be buried alive. On a more serious note, my brethren, when a human being behaves like this, what else would you call him? A human being or an animal? It's sad. A lot of the people in the north, they vote out their MPs, not because the MPs are not efficient enough, but because the MPs do not give them personal monies for their dowries. The MP must pay my dowry. The MP must attend my wedding. The MP must attend my great-grandfather's funeral. If he doesn't come, he's arrogant. I can't wait. Shege dan durunwa. Shege abim bazadan boruba. My brother, you'd hear all kinds of vitriolic language used on these MPs. When you have the power and you lend it to an individual to lead you, and you make the individual feel like he is a demigod, he will lord it over you. The Dogomers have a saying that I like, and I close with that. They say, and I quote, if you give birth to a child and you call him a lion, remember never to make him hungry. You will be his food. My brother, my sister, there's another thing here I would like to look at before I leave you. It's possible to make Ghana a pharmaceutical hub in West Africa. Bawumia assures Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. And this is from Tree News. I read it. Flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on Thursday, April 4, continued his engagements with key stakeholders as part of preparations for his this year's elections. He met members of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana in Accra to throw more light on his policies for the industry and the nation. Following the meeting, he wrote on his X platform that the interaction also gave him further insight into issues of concern to members of the society, which I pledged to include in my policy. I have never seen a hypocrite like Bawumia. I have never seen a joker like Bawumia? Have you all of a sudden seen the kind of energy he has, running into every hole like a mole? Have you seen all of a sudden the adrenaline that is running through his veins and is running around like a he-goat on a heat? Meanwhile, this guy has been in power for 7 years. He relegated the office of the vice president to the office of the mate in a trotro. All of a sudden, he has some refreshed energy to go to pharmaceutical companies, move from place to place, promising them heaven and hell, causing people to be sacked and fired. Where was that energy 7 years ago? A hypocrite Bawumia, I asked this question. I believe in late than never. But when it is so obvious that a man, a pseudo-Muslim, an American or British Muslim, part-time Muslim, who in Ramadan can walk from one church to the other, misquoting the Bible, he could only be called Zachariah Bawumia. My brother, my sister, it hurts me that these people take us for fool. You knew the right thing, but in your comfort as the elected person or appointed person, you sat down and lorded it over us. You were most arrogant. And if you are looking for arrogance to hug or to slap, and you meet Napo, slap him. That's arrogance. If you are looking for arrogance to slap, and you don't find Napo, and you find Nana Akufo-Addo, that is the definition of arrogance. Hey, our politicians get too comfortable the moment they are voted into power. And they behave like robots, my brother, my sister, when another election is coming. All of a sudden, they know all the good things they're supposed to be doing. This is when they do the major projects. This is when they sit in trotro and drink calipo. This is when, my brother, my sister, they are most respectful. Even when they see a goat lying down, they say, "Good morning, Mr. Goat. How are you, Mr. Goat?" Look at Bawumia. He is telling us that it is possible to have a pharmaceutical hub right here in the country. When COVID came, he was quiet. They didn't talk about a pharmaceutical hub here. Even when the ministries and some other such outfits were talking about producing some kind of vaccines, that vaccine all of a sudden fizzled into thin air, total oblivion. Today, Bawumia has the mouth, the effrontery to insult me and my progeny. That all along, when he was busily basking in the glory of opulence, in the glory of sleep, Lord God have mercy, he didn't care. Today, Bawumia is talking about GRA. GRA, you are slapping taxes on the people, GPHA, and people are being sacked left, right, and center. Yet for 7 years, they sat down and watched a man who reached retirement age spend another 27 months in power. They didn't know and they didn't care. These people must be impeached. I was going to use a harsher language, but no, I will not. It's sad. And I'm hurt. My brother, related to this is this other thing I want to look at. Free tablets for SHS students is a bribe for them to vote for MPP. And this is Mahama talking. And this captured by Peace FM Online. And I read the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has criticized the government's decision to allocate funds for free tablets to senior high school students, labeling it as a strategic move to secure votes. My brother, I am angry. I am mad. Hear me now, brethren. They waited all this while. Some of these ministers of state, they have 6, 7, 8 tablets. They do not even know how to switch them on. let alone switch them off. Yet, the young girls in the same SHS who are fed with dokono and a little bit of fish, my brother, my sister, which is even rationed time after time, they do not even have sanitary pads. I am moving from school to school. I am talking to them about patriotism. And some of the things I hear, sometimes I have to go on a by force fast to solidarize with these students. Of course, some of them have reached voting age, for that matter, and they form the majority, the youth. My brother, my sister, it is better to deceive them with a few tablets. Yet, my brother, my sister, the iPads that they have, they don't even know how to switch them off and on. But the parts that you need as young girls, they deny you that and even slap taxes on those. My brother, my sister, it is hurtful. It is an insult to the people. And I tell all SHS, please collect those tablets, vote them out, because it's an insult. It's an insult. All these years, you sat down so arrogantly, insulting us night and day. Today, when elections are coming, I don't know where they are getting the money from, whether it's part of the IMF money. Anyway, what happened to the Captain Smart, former Minister of Finance suit? What happened? We had so much noise about the suit. All of a sudden, that suit has fizzled into the thin air. What happened? Can I know? Most of the time, we hear a lot of the threats. Then everything dies down quietly. Are you joking? My brother, I don't want to speak anymore. But the more these people behave the way they behave, the more I get more energy to talk to the youth. Do not be fooled. These people don't mean any good for you. They want something. And once they get it from you, they don't want to see you again. They don't care about you. If they cared about you, they will not let you eat dry kenke with little fish, which is rationed amongst you. All the schools I go to, in the name of free SHS, they are treated like slaves and prisoners. I leave it here. A man who treats you like a slave, all of a sudden comes to you with a certain iPad or tablet or whatever. You should know that he has an ulterior motive. To God be the glory. It's been the Black Pot. Yes, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power.